Welcome to the Young and the Wrestlers, the Pop Culture's WWE podcast. One of your hosts, Ryan Best, alongside
the wannabe Bret Hart, Jem. I'm just channeling my inner Bret.
Yeah, Bret the Gem Man Hart.
Yeah.
You can listen to us every Friday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, head to the Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/the Pop Culturist or Discord, or there's other contact information in the down below area. If you want to support Pop Culturist on your body, head to popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts like this and other assorted ones, including some new designs. One of them just says that we straight up pillaged from John Oliver, and it just says wrestling. It's better than the things you like.
Yeah.
And there's one that's just wrestling.
Love it.
There's a bunch of new wrestling shirts over there, and because
Absolutely
they're brand new,
them.
they are on sale at the moment. If you're interested, go check it out.
Do it.
We are also on Twitch, twitch.tv/thepopculturist. We're supposed to be doing that now. Not doing it now. Doing this instead. So this is a WrestleMania 35 special. It happened. It finally happened. WrestleMania made its way to the WWE Network. We watched it. I watched all 7.5 hours of it on Monday.
I watched Monday evening, all of it.
Yeah.
So I got through all of it, including kickoff. I got so stressed out I went grey. No, it was actually it was great. Like,
Yeah, it was like
it was long.
It was very long, but I enjoyed the event of it.
Yeah.
Primarily. So,
Yeah, definitely.
the wrestling aside, like I had Josh, one of the kind of Pop Culturist co-founders, and Craig from the Mullet Show. They both came around and we shared the day together. So, it was really fun that way.
Yeah.
Like we had an untoward, like an unnecessary amount of fucking party pies. We had a great breakfast on the barbecue. It was like a whole day experience. Even the fact that it was 7.5 hours still made it all
Yeah,
good
it made
for
it
me.
worth it.
I actually was excited to get up at like 6:30,
Crazy.
get all ready to watch it at 7. And
Wild.
It's good. Very,
See,
very good.
I was at work and then I had a little accident where I almost thumbed my eyeball out. So I had to go home early. So I climbed into bed nursing a sore face. And I
think you should elaborate that a little bit further.
Yeah.
Like, what did you do?
So I was at work pulling up a pair of gloves for a piercing procedure.
Yeah, so Jem is a pierceologist, not the correct term.
Yeah, I'm a body piercer by day. And as I was pulling up the gloves, I've hit a weak spot or something and the glove has snapped. I was wearing contact lenses at the time. My long ass thumbnail went straight into my eyeball. Yep, just slingshot straight into the eye, straight into my right eye, which is my good eye too. So yeah,
I love it. Like I like when you're at a point when your both eyes are so bad. It's like, that's my good one.
It's a good one, and it's not so good anymore. Yeah, so I'm super bloodshot and super sore, and there's a little bit of swelling and bruising, but I'm a-okay.
Yeah, nothing.
But I got to go home early and watch WrestleMania. So wasn't deliberate, I swear. It was an entire accident.
Yeah, that was. So it was funny. So Josh, he's doing his air conditioner repairman course, and he goes to course on a Monday. So because it's technically a paid work day, if he doesn't attend, there's a phone call to his boss, which is his parents, right?
Yeah.
So he spoke to his parents on the Sunday. He's like, so you know how I helped, like, my sister move. I've done all these things. You guys went away for 2.5 weeks. I looked after the shop. Like, is there anything like I need a favor? And his mom's like, but his dad's like, Josh, anything you want. He's like, can I have tomorrow off school? He's like, is it anything? What's it for? WrestleMania. It's like, and his mom's like, what? Are you 14 again? You should take sick days off school when you're like 14 to watch wrestling. He's like, yeah, but I want to watch it with Ryan.
So yes, he's 14 again.
Yeah. He's reliving his youth right now, and he's having a great time doing it.
Oh, I love it.
But before we dive into the specifics, we'll go into more depth at the end. But what's your thoughts? Your quick thoughts about it overall?
Overall, I was stoked. Absolutely flippin' stoked. There's one key point which we're all going to know because I talk about it all the time. But one thing that just blew my mind, and I'm so excited to see where this goes. But for the most part, I was really happy. It felt consistent. It flowed really well. The match outcomes were way better than I anticipated. So yeah, I'm pretty well stoked on it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. The structure of it was really quite good for me personally. Like how I envisioned it going down in terms of the order of the card is not what happened, and I love that. I absolutely love that. There were some down moments that I'll get it. Like I said, like the sour, like not the sour notes, but just kind of where the pacing really kind of
slow
ate shit for a while.
notes,
Other than that, like at least the first half is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
And then it kind of goes, and it comes back again. And the big downside of it going for so long, you really kind of feel a bit at the end of it, which is a real bummer. But let's get into the specifics. So for WrestleMania 35 took place at MetLife Stadium in New York. I just burped. That didn't have
Was
to
it
come out of it.
technically New Jersey in the shadow?
Yeah, it's technically in MetLife Stadium is technically in New Jersey, but it's very close. It's where
right in the shadow. Yeah. Right on the borderline.
Cool. So it did kick off with what?
Just smacked my ear.
Oh, man, you're just nothing but pain today. What's going on? So it did kick off with a brilliant. So this is the main event we should mention. Actually, we'll get into the pre-show very quickly. I didn't take any notes for it, but it did happen. Yeah. So it started off with the Cruiserweight Championship between Buddy Murphy, not Buddy Watson, and Tony Nese. Pretty solid match. Nothing too major. Buddy Murphy did lose the belt to Tony, which is a bummer, but he has had that belt since Super Showdown in September, sorry. So he's had it for a good stretch. It's a good run.
Definitely.
Maybe he's coming up on the main card because Buddy Murphy is wasted in 205.
Yeah, definitely. I will mention this a little bit later, but I did notice a theme to the kickoff show winners. But we'll get to that in just a moment. Yeah,
and then next was, I believe it was the Raw Tag Team belt, which was the Revival versus the Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. So for those that are new, Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder are like the proverbial losers.
Wasn't it the Battle Royale first, and then that match, and then the Women's Battle Royale? Is that how it went?
Let's just mention them. They're not in exact order, but this is how they went down. Because I'm
pretty sure it was match Battle Royale.
I think it was too.
Yeah.
I think it was the Women's Battle Royale first.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah, so it was we'll go as the Cruiserweight, and then it was the Women's Battle Royal, with the winner being Carmella, surprisingly.
Out of nowhere, I was actually really stoked about that.
Yes, the victory came down to, it was like Sarah Logan was sort of left in the ring. She was one of the second last to stand. Carmella had ducked off to the side and hidden down the back. Yeah. She's come out, thrown Logan over to get the win. Yeah. Interesting, like in terms of the competitiveness of that, having that duck away and coming in is sort of a staple when it comes to battle royals, especially like the Royal Rumble, things like that. So she's played it smart, which is good, which is great. Saying that though, not my first guess who was going to win.
But in saying that, I did mention before there was a theme. Tony Nese is a New Yorker. Carmella's from Staten Island.
No, she's not. She's from
allegedly.
Ohio. But
she's from Staten Island.
Staten Island Princess. Yeah.
So again, that's
Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, locals.
Yep. So that's the theme that was going.
I like where they're going with it, and I guess having that
hometown heroes,
that hometown advantage would give you a bit more of a pump,
definitely.
And that need to perform would get you across that line.
Exactly
it makes total sense why, as competitors, they would have that. Technically an advantage.
Yeah.
Because like when you're playing to your crowd, like even if you think AFL teams, right? AFL teams, as an example, always play better on their home ground.
Exactly.
Always the case. Yeah. But so Carmella, and I personally thought it was going to go to the likes of Oscar.
Yeah, so did I.
I didn't make any solid predictions on the kickoff show, sort of, mostly because I didn't have a real big stake in it. Yeah. I thought Oscar may have had a real shot because in terms of who has a fire under their belly, she just lost the SmackDown Women's Championship.
She's got a lot to prove.
Maybe she's going to come in there and just fucking dominate, but no, she got out real fast.
Yeah,
like real fast.
Yeah.
There were some noticeable entrants in. In the Battle Royals, we had Kairi Sane, we had Candice LeRae, a bunch of NXT women, which I was a real big fan of personally, as well as a lot of the staple of the
Maria Kanellis. There was a few really good entrants. Stoked to see Kairi Sane in there.
Yeah,
I'm really gunning.
And now that we know that the next WrestleMania 36 is taking place in Tampa Bay, in the ground of the Tampa Bay Pirates.
Yeah.
So Kairi Sane being the Sky Pirate, her and Io Shirai.
Yeah.
I goddamn hope.
I was just thinking, I would love to see them called up this year. They are both phenomenal.
Did you watch NXT TakeOver?
I didn't watch TakeOver yet.
At the very end of this, I might talk about TakeOver for a little bit because
inform me.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
So moving along, so we did have the Raw Tag Team Championship, which was a very late notice announce.
Yes.
It may have been announced on Twitter, of all places.
Yeah.
The Revival, who were the champions at the time, against Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder are the known losers in WWE.
269 matches
consecutively to Kurt Hawkins. So he had a real tough time. But no, they came clean. He got the pin as well.
Yeah.
To walk away with the belt.
Yeah,
Absolutely
so
brilliant.
He broke his streak. Good for him.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
And yeah, they are now the Raw Tag Team champions.
So like I did predict this one.
And again, he's a New Yorker.
That's true. I did predict this one because I did post all my predictions on Twitter in
Yes.
advance, sort of get them out, so that way I can't come in here and be like, oh, I got them all right. But no, just sort of late on the groundwork. So I did predict Kurt, Zach and Kurt, not for any real reason. I just thought, well, it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was pretty proud of that one.
Yeah, definitely.
In terms for them, that is absolutely brilliant.
Huge. Huge.
You know, now moving forward, it's curious whether like how long they will retain the belt.
Yeah.
Like having that fire behind them is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Having that sort of that confidence to go with that, will that maintain?
And it was super cool. I was reading about Zack Ryder's outfit today, actually, and he was saying about how it's a mix of his old logos and how he's come from where he has to where he is now. And he was also a play on one of Christian's outfits. Because he is a huge, like Christian was a huge inspiration.
There's a brilliant photo of the two of them
together.
plus Christian, Edge and Christian.
Yeah. So that was super cute. I love that little homage to his past and to his mentors.
Absolutely.
So that was super cute. Yeah.
Yeah, big fan. Then that brought us into the Andre the Giant battle royal.
Yeah.
I think
Memorial Battle Royal.
Memorial Battle. It's fucked me words.
Yeah.
So there was some interesting peoples in here. Like there was like the likes of Andrade, the Hardy Brothers, just all these people that I really thought should have had a main card match.
Yeah.
So that's a real bummer. But the big focal point here was the battle between Braun Strowman and the two SNL guys.
Yeah, Michael Che and Colin Jost.
That's correct. So they did end with them.
Yeah.
Like it did.
So they slipped out of the ring pretty much immediately and hit under the ring.
Yeah, and Braun is just searching for him through all these dudes. He's eliminating 100 people.
Throwing people around. People are trying to throw him out.
Yeah, real hot time. So, on top of that, we did have the return of Luke Harper.
Yes, we did.
The other bludgeon brother.
Yeah, they had a bit of a face-off there, which was really cool to watch.
Yeah, it was great. So I was preparing breakfast at this point, and I walked over the barbecue and went, is that Luke Harper?
It was Luke Harper.
Holy fuck, that's Luke Harper.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, this is Harper. Oh.
You know, there's a bit of Wyatt family action going on there with Braun as well. That was really cool. He had a very cool moment with Ali. So big fan of that. It was a solid.
Awesome.
But yes, it did come down to Braun at the end with the two SNL guys sneaking back out and being like, "Hey, you have to resolve this in violence. I brought my therapist. He can help you out." Therapist walks up, says some words to Braun. Braun just picks him up, beats fuck out of him, and eliminates the two.
Yeah, Michael Che tries to get out of the ring. Braun's like, "You're not getting out of this scot-free." Gives him a big old slap across the face while he's on the apron. He goes flying, and then he just picks Colin Jost up and just
literally pegs him.
Yep,
so then he just walks up and picks up that trophy. Looks
the
incredibly
trophy
heavy
because he was struggling and it's just like
he didn't struggle though. Like
it looked like he struggled just to get it like in the right
spot. Yeah, he picked
lift.
it up and then once he got that leverage point, he just went.
Yep.
Like fuck, Braun Strowman.
Yeah, he's a strong.
You are the monster among them.
Yeah, he really is.
So that does bring us to the main card, and it did kick off with a excellent, brilliant video package, which talked about the idea of sort of comparing WWE to the likes of Shakespeare and the whole, the world is a stage and we are all players, and it just
beautiful.
I think because I was quite emotional going into this day.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons. One, I needed it. Personally, I really needed. I needed the day.
Time.
So on top of that, it was that sort of culmination of everything we've done up to this point.
Yeah.
Especially if this is a show, it's been like 4 months in the making.
Yeah.
So like I've been invested so heavily in wrestling, and it's all about going to WrestleMania. And then I was sharing it with Craig and Josh, and it was just this a big moment for me. So having it kick off and talking about like what makes wrestling so powerful and so amazing, and it's these grand stories that
literally
are
preach into the choir.
And it was just like I'm just like I'm eating this fucking brekkie roll going. And it hit such a strong chord with me, and like it was
beautiful.
It was absolutely brilliant, and it kind of got me in this perfect mindset for what I was getting into that day. I was like, fuck yeah, this is what it's about, because WrestleMania is sort of that season finale. It's bringing all the points together to head into a new year of wrestling.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this good
New year, new story.
Yeah, and it's kind of like
investments.
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. It
was a really good.
It was fantastic. So then we had Alexa Bliss come out as she is the host of WrestleMania, so discussing along the lines as she's like, "It's the grandest stage of them all." Blah blah blah.
This and is your moment of bliss.
Yes, consider this entire thing your moment of bliss. But as the host of WrestleMania, I have the power to make Mania moments happen. The click of my finger. So here it is. Click. Fucking Hulk Hogan.
When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside. Sorry.
Yeah, so I personally, as I said, I've discussed here, not a big fan of Hulk Hogan on a personal level. So I understand as a Mania moment why he would be there, but it made me quite uncomfortable, actually. I looked and went, oh, fuck.
See, I heard his music hit and I was like, oh yeah, he's a bit of a shit person.
Yeah.
Sort of buzzed through it.
And I was like, oh cool, Hulk Hogan. All right, it's what I wouldn't call that a WrestleMania moment, but that's fine. That's cool. Let him just go be racist elsewhere, I suppose.
Yeah.
But Alexa, like there was a cool little moment. They were sort of he said that he said the name of the city, the name of the stadium wrong twice. That's a joke about previous years. He's kind of got completely wrong.
I love it.
And he talks, doing the big Hulk Hogan-ness.
At least he can make fun of himself.
Yeah. And then did like an arm strongman thing with Alexa, which I'm like, oh, you're adorable, Alexa. Like,
she is so adorable.
You're just so cool.
He did this for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I was like, it's because you're old. You just can't hear what's going on.
Sorry, guys, I can't hear you. Can you say that again? This is his cue to talk louder.
But as they're doing the stretch off to I'm a fucking American, Paul Heyman, because like actually we should mention this, right? So the set this year was essentially just a massive Titantron with the entrance door in the screen.
Yes.
So compared to like previous years, let's use WrestleMania 33 as an example, which had the big roller coaster in the background and had like a dome and everything was built around the dome. So the downside with that, although the structure was very, very cool, it did obscure the video package.
Visuals,
so by having this big ass Titantron, it looked great. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah,
like,
beautiful. There was so much going on and it was great.
There was something awesome to its simplicity, and I think that was great. There was although there was flashy, it wasn't
Sometimes
this over the top hugeness, right?
Yeah.
Like even if
and it really brings the focus on the athletes as well. When they walk out, it's this massive thing, and you've just got this one small figure in there that's immediately where
so even if you go back to sort of like old SmackDown as an example, and they had like this weird oval shaped screen, and it's like everything fits kind of weird and it doesn't quite translate well if something kind of fits outside that regular widescreen thing. So, but this was brilliant because this was like sort of essentially an extra wide screen, and it just had everything that needed to be on there, and we'll get to what was on there later because
extreme.
Some of it was rough, but like this big ass wall, it looked brilliant, and the way it reflected off the stage as well, it made it
sheer like black laminate looking stuff. Like it was just beautiful. Everything reflected off it great. It was awesome.
So kind of rather than having to LED the floor as well, just the wall itself, able to really sort of create this reflective ground, and it kind of consumed the whole stage just from this screen. It was great. I think it was a very simple and awesome setup.
Sometimes less is more.
What was awesome, as I mentioned, with the door being in the screen, and because the distance of the screen and the size, people just come out of nowhere. Like it feels like they just come out of nowhere.
They've just atomized.
They just appeared. Like it's almost like in Willy Wonka, when Mike TV comes out of the little TV, and it's really small and he gets bigger as he gets closer.
Yeah.
So while Hulk Hogan's doing his thing, Alexa Bliss is doing her thing as well, we see this small person come out and going, what the fuck? And it's Paul Heyman. And he is just legging it.
Yeah.
He's sternly walking. If he could have...
It was a long ass ramp too. So.
If he could have, I reckon he would have fucking pushed Hulk Hogan out of the way just to get to his point. So he's trudging, gets to the ring. He's like, give me the fucking microphone. And he's like... so like my client Brock Lesnar, if he isn't the last one on, by God, he's the first one.
Yeah, we're not staying around for this shit show.
Yes, like we're not hanging around. If we're not hanging around if we're somewhere in
we've got somewhere better to be.
Like if we need to be, once we're done here, we're out. We're getting on a plane. We're going to Las Vegas. We will be ultimately more appreciated. A big old nod to UFC, as we know, the Brock Lesnar is currently in the talks to getting a match with some fuck for UFC.
Yeah, which we don't
Very,
know
very
about.
cool. And he's like, so we're having the match right now. Because once again, part of my head was like these belts, there's a big three, WWE, so the heavyweight champion, universal champion, and the women's were going to be the back end of the show. They're going to end that bad boy. But no, so they kick off with the universal championship. So Brock Lesnar comes out, does what he does, comes and they add a little bit more. Paul Heyman's holding the belt up to him.
Paul was all about it.
We get this very sort of like 80s thrash metal skull, which is the same as Brock Lesnar's sort of logo, with a big old fucking sword through it.
Big old sword like Brock Lesnar's front piece, and all of a sudden it just stabs the skull and it explodes and fires in the background and burn it down.
Yeah, so you got Beast Slayer blaring and brilliant.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal entrance. That was a great way to kick off the show. I was like, yes, Seth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
like,
so like
I saw it and I was like, oh, you are gonna win. Like,
yeah, but the animation itself wasn't the best, but it's probably the better of the lot.
Yeah,
it
was super cool.
But yes, as that walked in, because I personally, I'll put it out there, I thought Brock was going to retain. That was sort of just my fantasy booking in the future. I'm like, okay, it makes total sense for Brock to retain. So what happens? So as Seth is making his way down, he gets in the ring. Bell still hasn't rung. Brock just starts fucking laying into him. Like, we're talking hard, beating the piss out of him, throws him out of the ring. F5s him on the mat. Couple of suplexes. He's not doing well. Not doing well at all. Seth eventually gets back in the ring. The refs check into him. Brock is just yelling. His face like, ring that bell right now.
I've got to check him. Yeah, ref's checking him. And Brock just cracks it and starts attacking him again.
Yep.
Again, same thing. More F5s outside the ring, like a bunch of shit show. They finally get back in. The bell gets rung. The match begins.
So Seth eventually gets up, rings the bell, and it proceeds to be a further beatdown, which is what my concern was. We're getting another squash match here, and I'm like, nah, this is bullcrap. I don't want to see any more of this. This is not where it's going to go. During this, though, Seth does get the upper hand, does give Brock a big old shove, ref bump, ref falls out the ring, massive low blow, big old punch to the dick.
Big old dick punch.
Brock Lesnar drops, Paul Heyman's jaw drops, and then we proceed to get not one, not two, but three curb stomps from Seth Rollins
consecutively.
To get consecutive, just one, like 1, 2, 3, lays him down, 1, 2, 3 again, and Seth Rollins becomes the Universal Champion. Holy actual fuck. I did not listen. I said I personally thought Brock was going to retain. I thought, fuck, it'd be really cool, but once again, if he retains, then that could bring Roman back in, that could bring Drew in. Like, there's always additional options that I was thinking about. But having Seth win, I was like,
see, I was watching and I was like, nah, there's got to be a point where Seth is going to sneak. He's going to sneak something in. Like, I'm like, he's going to have to. Like, obviously last week he was having that interview with Charlie, and she's like, you can't do that at WrestleMania, you will get disqualified. And he's like, well, I had to do what has to be done. He deserved it. And it had me thinking, like, maybe Seth knows that he can't beat him straight up, but if he can find a way to get a low blow on him, that's where he can make his. And then, I was like, once I saw him getting his ass handed to him, I was like, okay, there's got to be something dirty in here from Seth.
Remember, he's the architect. He is. It's all about that plan, precise, like going in with a plan. And he went in with a plan here.
Yeah.
And like, granted, the plan was to get your ass kicked in the first couple minutes, but once he got in that ring, he was able to initiate what he had in mind. Yeah. It worked exactly as planned.
I was definitely gunning for Seth to take the win, and I'm stoked that he did. That was a great way to open the show.
So as he drops out, wanders back up the ramp. There's the big old swing.
Yeah, the big old swing,
which was absolutely brilliant.
So good.
Then we get, I think before Brock even leaves, we get the intro music pop for AJ Styles.
Yes.
The match of AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. The build up to this match was the idea of Randy Orton be the handed veteran, WWE veteran, right?
Yes.
Versus AJ Styles, who was the indie. I mean, he's coming up from nothing to get to where he is now. That's what the match set up for. Pretty solid match. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of different plays here because in the discussion that they had last week on the SmackDown before on the Kevin Owens show, talked about the idea of AJ's like, Randy's you got one move, and he knew that move, and that was of course is the RKO. So there are numerous times where AJ has got into a spot that he knew an RKO would be coming. So he's about to drop a phenomenal forearm, gets up.
Yeah.
Randy goes, and AJ pulls his punches, stops.
Yeah.
Randy, it's the deck.
Yeah, this is what I loved about this match. I honestly, like, as much as I love Randy and AJ, I wasn't too thrilled on the match. I don't know why. Something about it just really, I wasn't too keen on. I was like, there could have been bigger matches in the Mania card than this. But watching it, I was thrilled because AJ genuinely did know what he was doing. He's done his research. He's proved that, like, you know, he's come up so far from where he has. It's taken him a longer time, sure, but it's because he takes his time studying his opponents, learning their moves, learning counters for them. I couldn't get over how many counters he had for the RKO. There were so many times Randy went for it and he was just like, boop, nope.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Sling.
damn. Yeah, he just slip out of the way. Like, I was like,
saying
damn.
that though, on top of that, Randy was able to deliver, you know, his signature power slam, which I fucking love. The whip on that is brilliant.
Yeah.
And he did manage to drop an RKO, which AJ popped out of. Like, the RKO is one of those fucking demolishing finishes. So to have him be able to kick out of that, I'm like,
ridiculous. It shows the willpower of AJ.
AJ is actually, so it does end with AJ getting the pin. I personally predicted I wanted Randy Orton to win, and I predicted AJ to win, so that worked out well for me. I don't know, I just thought Randy would. I thought in terms of the match was littered with brilliant storytelling. So I thought in terms of the benefit of the story, it's always better when the face is chasing a heel. So I thought if Randy gets the win here, we're gonna be able to tell a lot more with AJ sort of coming it back and sort of, you know, in the same way he has, sort of, you know, that momentum of being the indie, working his way to get back. So I thought the idea was the storytelling of him then proceeding to get back to a point to sort of get there would be awesome. But no, it was still good nonetheless. We then get Lacey Evans' entrance. She wanders her way down, does fuck all, and leaves.
Of course she does. Sick of seeing
there is some conclusion to this week's episode of Raw and SmackDown. By the way,
exciting! I haven't watched it. I will be watching in.
So we are recording this on the Wednesday. So both Raw and SmackDown have aired at this point. That episode will be coming tomorrow for you guys on Friday. But
because I have Thursdays off, I like to binge watch them in bed. So that's my tomorrow. I have seen a few spoilers. I am super excited. But none of it is real until I actually watch it.
I did ask you, like, can I drop a spoiler? And you're like, yeah.
Yes.
But
I did explain that, like, it doesn't make any difference to me until I actually see it physically for myself.
That makes total sense. So next we had the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, where it was the Usos, who were the champions at the time, versus Aleister Black and Ricochet versus Rusev and Nakamura, and the Bar.
Cesaro and Sheamus.
So it was overall a very solid match. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed pretty much all of it. There was this great moment where Cesaro had Ricochet in his signature spin. As he's spinning around, Sheamus is just one by one doing the chest pounds. He's literally pound, throws it off the ring. Next guy comes and he's like, fuck you. And he's like, bam,
and this goes on for a solid, like, 2 minutes. And Cesaro the entire time is just swinging Ricochet around in the ring. I was like...
And I'm waiting for Ricochet to vom here. And like,
I saw it, like, you see Ricochet go like this. I was like, oh, he's going to throw up. Like, he is not doing well.
Even just the core strength of Ricochet to hold that tight that whole time, to not collect and wreck his face. So that was brilliant strength on all parties there. There was a couple other great spots. So there's a weird
back and forth where everybody does their finisher on everybody. Was
I'm always
great.
a fan of.
I love that spot. That's my favorite. Like, that's my favorite bit of every one of those big matches. Is just they just bam, 1 for 1, like, just knocking everybody out of the ring. Great.
So it did. So it was. Oh, fuck, it was brilliant.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. It was better than I anticipated, considering it was like a last minute addition. It was just like that. Hey, you guys.
And being week. Repetition of what we saw on SmackDown the couple of days before. I was like, fuck, I want to see that again.
But no, it was so good.
It did end with the Usos getting the tag. So both of them were legal for that one move. Sheamus was dead in the middle of the ring. They both do a double splash, get the pin. Usos retain. Not the outcome I personally wanted. I wanted Aleister Black and Ricochet to come through with the win. I thought it would have made total sense.
Yeah.
Because, like, it just, for me, it was like they've been this relentless force, and this would be their time to get the belt. And then it's all about all the oldies catching up to the new guys. Sort of was where I wanted that
What
to go.
I did absolutely love, though, was Aleister Black and Ricochet's entrance outfits.
Yeah.
Like, that really cool wing coat that Ricochet had and that massive beastly, like, spiky thing that Aleister had was like, it was so good. I absolutely loved that.
Yeah, so that is very standard practice for Ricochet in his ring attire.
Yeah.
That's sort of his standards. I'm just putting up my predictions to make sure what I predicted.
I love it.
Oh, sorry. I said I wanted Aleister Black and Ricochet, but I did predict the Usos.
Yes.
So that worked out well.
Yeah.
It just because they're champions. They're awesome. They're great.
They're good. Yeah, they're
cool.
phenomenal.
But yeah, no, like, so Aleister had his usual NXT takeover jacket, which was unnecessarily spiky. It's fucking metal as hell. It was great. So these guys did just have their final NXT match at Takeover against the War Raiders, and by God was that an exceptional match. And then there's this beautiful moment of respect with the War Raiders and them, and the old NXT crowd. Everyone's a fucking hot mess. God, NXT Takeover was so good. You should please watch Takeover.
I'm going to watch it tomorrow as well.
So that was awesome outcome. As once again, it still wasn't the match that I wanted for the SmackDown belts. Was the Hardy Boys versus the Usos in a ladder match, because there wasn't any sort of weaponry matches aside from the Batista and Triple H no holds barred. Like, there wasn't like a tables match, a ladder match, a chair match, or anything like that. Chairs match choice. Kind of average, but like at least I thought that might be a ladder match, because that's the Hardy Boys, and there was it's brothers versus brothers here. That would have been a phenomenal Mania match, because think about it was WrestleMania 33 where the Hardy Boys did come out as a surprise for I think it was for the Raw belts at the time, and the crowd erupted. Erupted. Wild. So I would have loved to have seen that again. But yeah, very cool. Next, we did have the Hall of Famers all come out to sort of get their big Mania moment. Yeah. So it was there was Brutus, the Barber Beefcake. Yes. There was
Tori
the Honky Tonk Man, Tori Wilson, the Hart Foundation of Bret Hart and Natalia being there posthumously for her late father, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. And there was DX. I believe that was everybody. Oh, and of course, Sue, who was one of the key connections between the Make-A-Wish Foundation and WWE. John Cena was the one to deliver her introduction at the Hall of Fame. Yes. Because
he's huge with
John Cena has currently the world record for the most Make-A-Wish visits, staggeringly, but compared to number 2. Yeah. So her and him would have worked very close together.
Yeah.
So
and she's been in the business forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was very well deserved.
So we should also address the situation at the Hall of Fame where some random fuckhole decided to tackle Bret Hart during his thank you speech.
Apparently because he felt like the time was right.
No. So the issue here was that Bret Hart is a very fucking injured man. Yeah. Years of wrestling has taken a massive toll on his body, and he is also a stroke survivor, victim. So he can't take a bump, period, let alone being tackled. So there was a lot going on at this moment. So once he did tackle, a bunch of people came in. So Scott Dawson from the Revival ran in that ring. Edge, who also can't take a bump, fucking ran in as well. Yeah. Braun Strowman ran in to help. Big E was there.
Yeah, Big E.
Heath Slater ran in as well.
Yeah, there were so many people.
Now, as I'm watching this clip, I'm like, Heath Slater, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, Heath Slater, you're not the right person to be in this.
Well, yeah.
Then I took to the internet, and the internet were like, no, Heath Slater is a Golden Glove boxing winner boxer. Like, oh, fuck. Because I did notice that he had his arms ready. I'm like, Heath. But like, he knew what he was doing. And on top of that, he's worked with Bret 1,000 times before. Like, there's a friendship there that exceeds the common knowledge, which was a great sort of inside there. Yep. So it makes sense why he was in there. But there were a lot of not even stiff shots, like legitimate punches from Scott Dawson. Like Dawson
that's
wrecked
what happens
this
if you do
dude.
Anything like that to a superstar. Like, you will get checked.
But it makes no sense.
They will beat the living shit out of you with no remorse.
It makes no sense. Why would you attack someone in a room full of people that punch people for a job?
Because it says I've read something today. He literally just said it felt like the time was right.
No.
That's all he said.
My favorite
But
part.
apparently, like, his bail is like over $1,000 or something like that.
So granted, there was some excessive force used by the WWE superstars,
Which they
saying
do.
that they
They
were
take care
like
of
they're
their
kind of within their right, because they did attack a senior citizen. If this guy was to ever be like, no, miss,
It's the same as Triple H attacking Batista. Like.
yeah, and if they're like, oh man, these guys mistreated me, they tackled me when I was already in, like. WWE have enough lawyers to bury that guy. That guy's not getting the
exactly
shit.
It.
On top of that, so as he was being held and being carried out by Big E and Braun Strowman, Scott Dawson got one more fucking punch in, knocked him clean out, and they had to weaken to Bernie's him out. Like pretend he's not dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that was brilliant. So yeah, back to the Hall of Fame at Mania. Mm-hmm. So DX for the last come out, and everyone's standing in their place being very nice and sort of, hey, DX just being assholes.
Yeah.
Like
they've got the DX are being DX. That's what they do. They don't come out in suits. They got their jeans and their t-shirts.
And their leather jackets and
their glow sticks. They're just chopping at everyone.
Which, it felt really uncomfortable because they're old. But then at the same time, like, Triple H still looks kind of badass. Shawn Michaels looks like someone punched a chromosome loose at some point. Then, like, X-Pac looks like X-Pac. X-Pac still kind of looks...
He hasn't changed. He looks still the same.
He looks still pretty edgy.
I love it.
It's very cool.
It was so good. You got Road Dogg looking
Road Dogg just looks like every dad ever.
Yeah. Just my dad just decided he was in DX.
Yeah, and of course they had China on the screen up above, because posthumously as well there.
Yeah.
It was overall a cool experience,
It
was a nice sort of moment. Yeah. And I did wonder, I was looking at Honky Tonk Man, and I was like, man, did you really keep your hair like that just to sort of be in character external to because you've not wrestled in a while. And old Brutus, if Brutus didn't have those scissors, I don't fucking know who he was.
Yeah.
But no, it was lovely to see
super nice to
Natalia there up for a fight.
Yeah, definitely.
Really cool. Next was the Falls Count Anywhere match between Shane McMahon and The Miz.
Oh boy. I was not expecting this, and I am pissed about it, but at the same time I'm like, well, it's not wrong.
Yeah, so we'll get to it. So the match sort of started with a little bit of a scuffle, but Shane very quickly...
Started with Shane making his announcement known again.
Yeah.
Just like...
Yeah, getting the announcer to sort of make sure he pronounces...
With conviction.
Yeah, so he gets about halfway down the ramp. He's like, nah, mate, fucking do it again. Does it again. So I'm happy. I like his intro music, so I'm happy to hear it again. Yeah. Comes in, very cool. So as the bell rings, there's a little bit of a minor scuffle. Shane ducks out. The Miz is up in the ring. Fucking Shane just grabs an old potato face and grabs him, and then Miz breaks. Breaks.
Yeah, just straight up.
So they seem to they scuffle around the ring, a lot of throws, a lot of punches. The Miz has the complete upper hand here. Mm-hmm. It does get to a point where Shane does grab a hold of the Miz. I believe he throws him into the barrier. He sort of brings him down, gets him in. So Shane gets in the ring, sort of being all showboaty. Actually, no, sorry. He clears the table. He clears the announce table, ready to drive him through. As Shane is about to go pick up the Miz, old fucking potato face Miz, Mr.
No. Shane was up on the ropes about to jump on Miz.
That's right. That is right.
And then, Dad stands like right in front of Miz, and he's just like, nope. Stands right in front of him like, I'm not letting you jump on my son. Shane's like, really? He's like, nope. And Shane gets down. He's like, well, come on then.
Yeah, so we're about to get like a coast to coast from the post to the table. Miz is there.
Mr. Miz gets in the ring and he's all like...
It was funny. So he squares, like, the first thing I noticed, Miz squares up, Mr. Miz, and he's got his hands like a meter wide. I'm like, and you Shane's are not...
Shane's like...
It was brilliant because
I'm
like
lining him up. I was like, "Oh, Shane!"
Because I'm like, "Oh man, your face is so wide open." Like, I don't know how to fight. I've never been in a fight in my fucking life, but I'm like, there's no guarding there. You are about to get like, if Shane even moves near, he's gonna wreck your face. And Shane's like,
just
adjust his hands, bring him a little bit closer and up in front of his face, and then he goes and just kicks the fuck out of him. Yeah. Brings him down.
Stomps him into the corner.
And of course, Miz, who's seen all this, just blitzes.
Yeah.
And this is where the real Falls Count Anywhere, anywhere part took place.
Yeah.
Big old scuffles, gets him out of the ring, then making their way through the crowd.
Throws him into the crowd first, then he runs back to his dad and he's like, get somebody out here for him right now. We need somebody here for him. He's yelling. They finally get some
medical staff out there. Yeah.
And then Miz is just like, all right, it's on. And he goes flying over the barrier.
Yeah. So like Miz is next to a barrier. I think he may be over the barrier. I'm not quite sure. But Miz is like, cool, you're all right. All right, cool. Runs around, just fucking jumps and just collects Shane, goes over. Massive credit to the Mania crowd. For most sort of like most SmackDown episodes, or whenever anybody gets into the crowd, everyone's like, yeah, gets all.
Everybody was like, oh, this is going down.
They're getting all touchy on the superstars and getting in their way of them. They're fucking punching each other. But credit to everyone at Mania, they're like, well, fuck, we know.
Grab your shit.
They're like, we know our rules as audience. I'm like, we're gonna fuck away. Like, we are not getting involved. And they just cleared the way and let them get what they do. There was some exceptional punches here. They got up onto sort of one of the tower lights, pushing the shower, kicks it around. Eventually, they get up to the international announcers, and these guys had fucking no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, the ref is trying to hold these tables up while they just scuffle behind it. Funaki gets fucking pushed. I'm like, don't you dare fucking hit Funaki.
Yeah. Oh, it was chaos.
It was
one
brilliant.
poor guy got stuck behind him. It was like, it was madness, wires and cables everywhere. It was just going to absolute friggin' town. And then they end up...
Yeah, so once they get to the announce table, Miz just throws Shane over the barrier, hits top of a golf cart, just eats fucking concrete in the face.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Crazy. I can't.
So then eventually scoot around and they get to one of the camera towers, sort of the scaffolding holding camera. So as they sort of scuffle, get a skull-crushing finale onto the thing, and it's a tremendous bang as Shane's face demolishes that fucking ground.
Yeah.
Still kicks out though, and no point. Like, there's been solid 2 counts all the way through. Shane
dominating entirely for this
destroyed.
most part.
So Shane eventually kicks Miz off, and rather than escaping, he seems to climb high because I think that's Shane's fucking natural.
Yeah, the higher I get, the more devastating and coast to coast it's going to be.
The higher I get, the safer I am. I think that's how he thinks.
Maybe. But yeah, they end up at the top of the tower, and this is where I did not see it at all coming. I was like, sick, like Miz is going to like boot him off the edge or something like that.
So Shane drops to a knee and he's like, I'm sorry, man, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sorry. He's just sort of groveling at this point.
Yeah.
He gets to his knee, I'm like, he's going to punch Miz in the dick. Like, there's only one way this can go. He's going to punch him in the cock. Didn't happen. Miz goes, you're fucking sorry. Grabs him by the face, similar to how he grabbed Miz. Grabbed him, picked him up, laid some punches in, gets him in a headlock, gets ready to superplex him off this 18 feet high camera.
Yeah, does it. Not expecting it. They both go over and just shatter this, whatever it was underneath them. Shattered. But when they get down there, you hear 1, 2, 3, and then the ref is holding up Shane's hand.
You've seen this stuff. You're just seeing 2 bodies lying on each other. You're like, I think they're both fucking dead. Miz hasn't moved. Hasn't moved at all. He's out clean. I'm
pretty sure he's dead. I'm pretty sure he is dead.
Miz is out clean, completely clean. Shane is there. He's twitching and moving. But during the drop on this plex, it has put Shane's arm over Miz's chest.
But not just that. Miz's shoulders were technically down on the fabric or whatever it was.
On the platform. So
which means that Shane is technically covering him for the pin.
Yeah, so in comes the ref. 1, 2, 3.
Shane's hands up. They're both laying there dying, and the referee's like, Shane's the winner.
Yeah, so they Shane sort of comes to, they pull Shane off, and Miz still dead.
Yeah.
So I think he makes, rumor has it he's still there. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, I've heard he's just
they haven't moved him. He's still there. MetLife Stadium until 4 days later.
They're worried about the gear, not the Miz.
Yeah. So awesome. It was way better than I expected.
For me, it did start a bit slow because it stayed in the ring primarily, or the ring area. But the minute it started shifting out into the crowd, I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. I have never seen The Miz with so much fire behind him. And I was absolutely living for that. No regard for himself. He was just like, I just want to hurt Shane as much as I can. And I was like, be vicious. I love this.
Yeah, there was a lot of emotion here, and with storytelling in mind, it was delicious.
Absolutely
delicious for me personally.
No.
Big fan. Yeah, give me fucking more of that. I went back and watched it again. It was that good.
Yeah, that was such a good night.
Next, we get the women's tag team championship match. It is a fatal 4-way with the champions of Sasha Banks and Bayley versus the Iconics of Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, the Samoan Slaughterhouse of Tamina and Nia Jax, and Natalya and Beth Phoenix.
Who did have Bret Hart bring them out to the ring.
So yeah, it was good to see he was okay at this point.
Yeah, exactly. He walked them out, which was beautiful. They were wearing matching outfits, which was really cute. I adored that.
So they played Natalia's theme first, and they played Beth's, then they played a combo of the two. Sort of this,
which was really cool.
Bit of a mix.
Yeah, it was
big fan of that. Loved it. The Iconics came out in this sort of devil angel getup.
Yeah.
They had very Diablo-esque horns with this sort of high black wings.
I was informed that Peyton Royce's outfit was a nod to Harlem Heat. With the flames and stuff on him, which was really
and
cool.
Guerrero, wasn't it?
I thought it was Guerrero, but I was informed that it was Harlem Heat, obviously, because they were also inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, Harlem, yes, we've got the Harlem Heat.
Yeah.
Booker T and other dude.
Yes. So, yeah, I apparently was a nod to that. I read somewhere it was Guerrero. Somebody else telling me it's Harlem Heat. Why not both? Because they're both very similar in their outfits. So, yeah, that was super cool. Nia Jax came out with some weird braids. I don't know. I didn't find it.
Tamina was rocking a new outfit.
Yeah, Tamina looked good, actually. I was really impressed.
Sasha Banks had new hair.
Yeah, she did.
Half of Bailey's Wacky Web and Fable 2 men didn't go off.
Oh, yeah, that was a bit disappointing. Bailey was like... And her little guys didn't go off.
Three of them
and I was
like...
yeah, and there was like one laying over here like this. And I was just like, oh, Bailey.
So
they did get fireworks.
Yeah, so it did kick off. I can't remember who. There was some couple of good moments here. We'll go straight to the end here. So once Beth Phoenix got in, she did some solid domination.
She did at one point. I think it was to Sasha Banks. Maybe she did a glam slam from the top rope.
Yeah, so this is what
that was amazing.
So the final move here was Beth Phoenix had Bailey in a glam slam on the second rope. During this kerfuffle, Billy Kay's come up, done a sneaky smack on Beth Phoenix's butt, getting the tag.
Yeah.
So as Bailey has taken the full brunt of this drop, Peyton Royce has come in, grabbed Beth Phoenix grabbed her by the hair, pulled her out of the ring. In comes Billy. 1, 2, 3. The Iconics! The Iconics are the women's tag team champions.
I didn't know how they were going to do it, but I'm glad they did. And it was a clean but dirty win. Like, I'm really torn on how the win went. Like, I'm like, is that dirty? No, but she tagged herself in. But like, I was just so confused. But I was like, I don't care. The Iconics won.
I literally jumped off the couch.
Living.
Yeah.
I was squealing. I was just like, oh, yes.
I think my exact words were, "Get the fuck out!" And I'm like up in the air, and I'm like, I couldn't.
The first thing I thought of was a little video of Billy Kay going, "You've got to be joking me!" I was like, "You got to be joking me!"
Oh man,
I'm stoked. I am so stoked for them.
I was so proud.
Go you good things.
Oh, fucking brilliant.
Australia's
so should mention I predicted the Miz would win, so that's a no there. In terms of the women's tag,
I'm pretty sure
I wanted the Iconics, but I predicted Sasha and Bailey to retain.
Yeah, so I was all about the Iconics all the way, and I am so stoked.
But no, I'm very, very happy for them to take the win. As the jesters of WWE, it was a cool win.
It's super fun.
And it's very cool. I just think about it yesterday as well as I was watching SmackDown, and I mentioned it last week as well. Just this new growth and appreciation that we have gained for the Iconics.
Yeah, initially we're like, oh god, shut up, and now we're like, look at these beautiful glass.
I was watching it at work with Lucas, who's Paris, who's my boss, is his son. He's 19, and I'm like, these are the two Australian chicks, and he's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, are they super Australian? I'm like, let's give it a minute.
Just listen.
And they come out and then Billy Kay goes, Wah! She's like, oh my god.
Yeah. Oh god, they sound like they're from my high school.
I'm like, yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
So I've totally warmed up to them, and I'm very happy with that result.
Yeah, me too.
I shared the living fuck out of every post I could possibly find about that.
Yeah, it's truly iconic.
On my Twitters. Next up, so right down the middle. So as I mentioned, the pacing of this first half here up until the WWE Championship, which is the next match, was absolutely brilliant. So they've, as we now know, the next match being the WWE Championship between Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan. They put the three major belts, front, middle, and the end. Brilliant pacing.
Yeah.
An excellent way to set it up.
Really good.
So it really kind of put the key moments where they needed to be.
Yes. Agreed.
Blah, 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 blah. I forgot where I was going. So the New Day came out, as, you know, so all three of them. It was awesome. Big fan.
Yeah.
Then Daniel Bryan, Rowan, very, very cool. Blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
Overall, really awesome match. I enjoyed all of it.
Daniel Bryan, even though you don't, we haven't seen much of his proper wrestling skill on the shows the last couple of weeks, he is a phenomenal athlete. He's for a little dude, he is very strong. He's super powerful. He's got a lot of power behind his hits. he's fast, he's high flying. It was a very even playing field between him and Kofi. They have very similar but differing styles in the sense that Daniel Bryan just hits that little bit harder than Kofi does, in my opinion.
It started off in this really cool sort of setup with the idea of, with Daniel being that more technically proficient wrestler, he wanted to keep Kofi down on the ground, keep him close, keep him tight.
But when he needs to, he can go.
So for that reason, every time Kofi isn't, as if everyone believes he's a high flyer, he isn't really. He's just more agile.
Yeah, so he's very acrobatic.
Every time he tries to do these sort of bigger gestures, sort of keep Daniel on the move, if Daniel's finding ways to bring him down and keep him low to the ground.
Yeah, Daniel's a huge grappler. So
there was quite a lot of label locks. There was a lot of calf and leg work as well.
Obviously take out his legs because that's what he uses the most.
So same came from Kofi. Kofi did some awesome work. Showing that same perseverance that we've seen in the gauntlet matches in the last couple of weeks. And that the whole time we've got the New Day pounding that thing. Yeah, giving yelling, nothing but words of encouragement at Kofi.
So good. There's everybody watching backstage cheering for Kofi as well, which we've seen the last couple of weeks. It was just awesome.
So we should mention, off to the side, they did have a stand ready for the championships. So when Daniel Bryan did come in, they did place that on the stand. Big E did walk out with a little present on.
That said,
it's for you. It's for you when we're done. It's for you when we're done, mate. And he's like, I'm going to fucking talk about what's in the present. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you later.
Yeah.
So scuffle. Couple of really key, brilliantly key moments here. Daniel getting a lot of those flying knees, some yes kicks. Kofi still pushing through. There was a period of time where Kofi was just getting beaten. Yeah, and I personally, and there was a lot of close, very near falls here, and it was
a cliffhanger and a half.
It was intense.
There was a lot of
I was a lot of edge of my seat stuff. And they did eventually spill out of the ring. Rowan did try to intervene, but not in a direct way. He was trying to blocking the New Day from doing anything.
Yes,
Kofi gets them out of the way, whatever they got it. Kofi took out the Rowan. So credit with credit, limited interference. In a title match like this, any interference it doesn't get you the win. So
definitely.
For that reason,
it was really cool though.
I'm very happy that no one got involved. But it did end with a Trouble in Paradise, side of Daniel Bryan's face, drop down, 1, 2, 3.
Kofi Mania.
Kofi Kingston became the WWE Heavyweight Champion.
You deserve it. Amazing. So I was pretty emotional at this point. I was like, oh my God, he did it. He finally did it. The New Day jump in the ring. They're going crazy. He did it.
Within seconds of the bell ringing, the New Day are running and they've got him surrounded. And at this point,
picking him up, cuddles, love.
My eyes are welling. I haven't quite cracked that tear line yet, but it's there. The whole storytelling, everything about this was fucking brilliant. Absolutely. And I'm feeling it. I'm swelling and I'm going, I've got to hold this in. I've got two dudes next to me. I'm like, I can't break. Then his kids. Kofi's two boys run in,
so
and they grab him grab their dad and the little.
He picks him up and it's love and that's where I broke.
And I think my exact words are, "Oh, you can't bring in the kids." And then I cave and I look at Josh, he's caving, and Craig's caving, and
it was so beautiful.
This was the best outcome, and personally, the emotional highlight of the night.
Yeah. You know what the best part of it was, though? The New Day jump out of the ring. They pick up Daniel Bryan's belt. They put it in the trash and they pull out the old belt.
But
the black leather, beautiful.
With Kofi plates on the side, it was brilliant.
Kofi plates already there.
What I loved about this, and some you can just tell. So with Kofi being, with Xavier Woods being such a prominent. He was the mastermind behind the New Day, and when he approached Big E, they knew that they needed Kofi, and that was the plan. And for years and years and years, Xavier's been laying down the line that it's all about we need to get Kofi to a place of strength, because he does have that potential. He had the potential when we started 4 years ago. He had that.
He's had the potential for the last 11 years that he's been in this industry.
So you see, there's a lot of raw emotion in Xavier's face. So
genuinely.
They both Big E pick him up, and it's very funny because Big E just picks him up with ease. Xavier being a lot smaller and not quite as buff as Big E, he's like, but then there's just gushing tears everywhere. So when they get to the side where the belt is being held, I initially thought it was just like a placement holder for the belt.
Yeah, so did I.
They take the belt off, piss away the hemp belt. Xavier steadies for a second, holds in. You can see this the raw emotion, and he just pulls that over, and I'm like, again.
Yeah. And then they come in with the box, which is a present, and it's brand new T-shirts with Kofi with the belt on and the New Day in the background, these beautiful blue things. His boys are already wearing the shirt. Like, it was the most beautiful thing. Like, it was. And then, when he eventually gets out of the ring and he's like cuddling his family and kissing his wife and stuff like that, I was just like, man, you deserve this. I remember when you were a Jamaican. So, it was so beautiful. It was definitely one of my highlights for sure. But there's something a little bit later that's just even better for me. But we'll get to
this
that.
is where we get into the minor decline in terms of its pacing. So next up we get the US Championship match. So it was Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe, who is the current United States champion. Rey coming in dressed as Mysterio from Spider-Man. Spider-Man's villain. Very inspired by that.
Loved it.
It was great. So I had the beautiful dumb fuck moment, and I'm like, why is Rey Mysterio dressed as Mysterio from Spider? Oh, you idiot.
Oh, yeah.
I said it out loud too. I'm like, why is he dressed as Mysterio? Oh, that's why.
All right.
Josh, look at me and go, wait,
fucking idiot.
fucking moron. Like,
this guy.
Sorry, I'm emotionally drained.
Shit.
So this, it is known that Rey Mysterio was going into this match with a broken with a damaged ankle. Like he may not have been able to perform as well as he is, but in no way did we predict that Samoa Joe would retain that belt in under a minute, literally under 60 seconds. So crazy. Joe gets in the ring, bell goes. Credit to Rey. He goes hard straight off, delivering a 619. And the second that Rey hesitates, Joe comes in with the coquina clutch, chokes him the fuck out. Dominic had nowhere. It was nowhere to be seen. No involvement. Done.
Which we were hoping for. No, just done. That was was not expecting that. That was super fast paced, but I'm hoping that does set up something bigger later on. But I was kind of. Like, I understand, obviously, Rey coming into this industry, I can understand.
Sorry, I should mention, I did predict Kofi to win. I did predict Joe to win too.
Yeah, I did too. Like, obviously, Joe's just got that power over Rey. And the minute the cocaine clutch is in, Rey's too small to get anywhere.
And what's brilliant about this is Joe just looks like a fucking beast.
Joe is a beast.
He is a beast.
And like, I love a lot of his music hits. Bam, bam, bam.
A lot of the time, he never really gets the real chance to demonstrate how much of a beast he is. Yeah. So when we see, I'm like, you're a fucking killer. Yeah.
You could literally murder somebody.
I'm so excited to see what Joe can do.
He is doing amazing things for that championship. I can't wait to see.
Next up was the match where I left and went outside for a little while. Was Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. So in terms of what exactly happened in this match, I have no idea because it started and I fucking stopped caring real fast.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it's at that point where everybody did. Obviously, we're getting in on the day. Even the crowd seemed really out of it. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a good match. And like Drew McIntyre, like Roman did an amazing job. He got some good stuff in, but for the most part, he did get dominated. Like Drew McIntyre he's ridiculous. Like he's a Scottish psychopath. He's just crazy physically and mentally. But I have found I think the novelty of Roman Reigns has worn off. And he's just not as spectacular as he's made out to be, in my opinion. He's not very good on the mic. Me personally, I think his moves are kind of average. That Superman punch, it's a jump punch. Come on. It's not that. And I think the universe is feeling a bit the same. They're just realizing that he's not as great as they initially thought.
Well, no, that's not new. Prior to...
That's what I mean. They're going back to knowing that.
Prior to Roman leaving late last year, there was a lot of disdain towards Roman. Yes. And I'm not saying there's disdain against him now, but
people are just already over the excitement of having him back.
The big difference here is the issue in the past was that was the WWE forcing Roman into people's faces when they don't want it. Yeah. And here he wasn't forced. They were this was him seen purely on his own merit. Yes. And even on his own merit, everyone went, maybe
not that
not
interested. Yeah.
Which is a real shame because I quite like Drew McIntyre. So we should mention Roman gets the win.
Yeah.
There's a Superman punch followed by a spear and then 1, 2, 3. There's the pin. I think Drew McIntyre's great.
I'm starting to
I really enjoyed what he did with Dolph Ziggler towards the end of last year as tag team champions for a little while. And then he just kind of got lost in the shuffle late in the last year, and joined 3-Man Bland, and haven't had much strength. So it's a weird line of part of me wanted him to mush Roman because I like him being strong.
Yeah.
And this is technically the first time in a long time that he's lost by pinfall.
Yeah.
Without interference.
Yeah.
There was that one time that there was interference. I think it was November of last year, and that did lose him his pin. But other than that, he has not lost by pin. He lost by DQ a lot because he got really mad and fucking messed up people. Yeah. So that's an interesting result. There. I got nothing more to say about that match because I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Next up was the Triple H versus Batista. Beautiful. So we should mention.
Oh man, I watched a video I think yesterday of Xavier Woods backstage
singing
with Mickie James and that. Yeah, singing Batista's entrance, and I was like, that was me.
I believe that was earlier in the day because it was still bright and they were in the ring. It's just I think they were doing sound check.
But it was like I saw that, like I listened to that, and I was like sitting there, and I was like, oh, this is great. Like, this was me when his music hit.
Yeah.
Comes out with his full entourage of security.
Yes, he comes out. It's 2 SUVs. He's in the back. It's Brent. So they pull up. He gets out, rips the door open, slams the door shut, gets out. His music's going fucking bonkers.
Everybody was loving it. Gets in the ring and slips.
Oh, before we get to that, so he does the whole like the big fucking machine gun drops.
Everywhere.
The fireworks kick off. Gets to the ring, goes to hop in, catches his foot, eats dirt.
Yep, I love it. Then he sort of like gets out, does a lap of the ring, gets back in slowly this time.
But he's aware. He's slowly. Goes,
yep. And you can see him laughing with the ring announcer and the referees, having a bit of a giggle there.
As my chair drops down
again. I appreciated that like he could even on the grandest stage of them all like take the piss out of himself a little bit. Like,
so we should mention this is a no holds barred match. It is Batista's final match, regardless of the result. But if he were to win, it would end the in-ring career of Triple H. So
H's entrance.
Yes, H. So it started up with this sort of very Mad Maxy looking footage.
Weird Mad
it looked like it was come straight out of a PS2 game.
Yeah,
it did
really
not
bad
look
CGI,
good. It looked so
bit rubbish.
horrid.
There was these weird cuts to his face in a mask. Like it just did not look great. But then the side of the stage opens up and this massive, like, customized hot rod looking things comes out.
Like Beetlejuice as a driver.
Yeah, and then like Triple H on the back of it. That was really cool. That car was super badass. And it slowly just, as Triple H does, slowly makes his way down the ring. And it was just
saying that though, it was very, very cool. But I'm like, when he gets down, and how do you get past the beep, beep, beep? It's like, while everyone's focusing on the ring, like, does he just slowly revert?
Yeah. But yeah, that was super.
Credit to the guy, he reversed out without any concern. Like, he didn't fall off the ramp or anything.
No issues. They must have practiced.
I can't fucking reverse that well.
Yeah. No, that was.
All of Batista's entourage pushed back out.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they had to.
So this being a no holds barred match, there's no disqualifications. It's just fucking mushing the shit out of each other for a while. This match went way too long.
It was very slow paced, and you could like a lot of the time the announcers were talking about both of them obviously being out of the ring for quite a while, so there's going to be some ring rust there.
Well, Triple H is coming back from his injury at Crown Jewel, where he literally ripped his fucking boob off.
Yeah,
so destroyed his pec muscle. So the fact that he's even in the ring is impressive nonetheless, regardless of what he's doing. So because both of these dudes are very old. It was very slow. It was very plodding. Not quite as slow and lumberous as DX versus the Brothers of Destruction at Crown Jewel, or Triple H versus Undertaker at Super Showdown. It was a little bit faster than that, with Batista being a bit more nimble, I suppose. Yes. But it did sort of start off with Triple H being a bit more vicious, using a lot, pulling out a toolkit.
Chains, toolkit. Okay, so this is where my day job comes into play. Obviously, Triple H gets some needle nose pliers at one point out of that toolbox, and he climbs into the ring. I'm pretty sure after he'd put Dave over the stairs in the ring.
What so?
And he's got a chair, and I'm pretty sure he holds
a chair.
Yeah, holds him down with the chair, and he gets the needle nose pliers and rips his nose ring out. And I was like, oh god, no! And then I was like, oh God, the piercer and me saw what they did there.
Yeah, but what's brilliant though is that you as a piercer, like, you know, like how much meat is in that nose.
Yeah.
So to yank that bad boy out, to tear that nose apart.
So yeah, by technicality, they did still technically tear his nose ring out. Little pierce insight for you guys.
They're on the fun.
It's no, because it still rips his nose, because like the way the gap sits on the ring that he had in his nose, it's super tight and his nose is super thick. So when Triple H ripped that ring, he definitely ripped Batista's tissue. There was no way that was coming out clean. So I was kind of like, initially I was like, oh no, that's like, in my head I was like, no, that's fully staged. That's going to be like a prop ring or whatever that he's just putting in the piercing site. And then I saw his nose bleeding. I was like,
it was already bleeding before it even happened. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, no, they've actually done something there. Like, they've really genuinely...
Well, before they even yanked out, I'm like, man, they're going hard. Like, even his nose is fucking bleeding. Like, he's not doing well.
You know, that kind of says to me that that's a freshish piercing. If it's bleeding, like, if he's gotten a knock to the nose...
take that bump, yeah.
Yeah, it says to me that it might still be a little bit of a freshie.
Yes.
But that was still, like, I was still seeing that initially, like, I think that was my afterthought. At first, I was like, in the moment, I was like, no. And then I was like, I looked at it because Triple H holds the ring up and I can see the gap in it.
And Triple H is holding a complete ring.
And and I was like, I can see what he's done there. But, like, at the same time, I was like, yeah, no, like, his nose ring wouldn't have stayed in that long if there wasn't, like, genuinely something holding it in place. I was like, oh, they've actually ripped his nose. Oh, that poor guy. Because, like, I know what it feels like to tear out a piercing. So I was like, oh. And I was, like, holding my nose for a good minute, like, oh. And every time I saw, like, a close-up of Batista's face in the blood, I was like, because I know that feeling. But it was so fun to watch because I was still so cringy. I was like, everyone's gonna love this.
So there were some interesting moments. So as I said, using a lot of chain work, sort of choking out Batista with a chain, which very interesting because that's what Triple H fired Daniel Bryan for a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
On top of that, so they were on the announce.
And he was so happy about doing it too. Like Triple H had a smile the entire time.
Yeah, Triple H was fucking stoked.
When
like,
we did the nose ring thing, he was just like.
Oddly enough, both of them seemed like they're having a good time.
Yeah.
So there was a point Triple H. There was that's right. There was a set of stairs on the announce table. It looks as if Batista's about to Batista bomb Triple H onto the stairs. Triple H slides out, gets him, throws back into the announce table. The table doesn't break. Batista gets up. Triple H delivers the fucking chop, tackles that motherfucker.
Oh, I love the chop. He just smiles. He's like, yeah, DX
it's like,
chop.
Suck it, and then just rams into him. It did. So there was a Batista.
The second table didn't break either, and then they finally get to the third table, and the third table broke.
Yeah. So on top of that, there was a Batista bomb in the ring, and there were, I believe it may have been a pedigree.
Bunch of pedigrees.
Yeah, so there was a couple of pedigree attempts that Batista kept getting out of, and if my memory serves me right, which it probably doesn't, there was a pedigree to the end to get the win. Triple H comes out the victor here in an unnecessarily long match.
Yeah, it was very long and very slow. But, like, I think, honestly, like, that whole nose ring thing, even though I know the mechanics behind it, it was so much fun. And I love that so many people messaged me, like, what did you think of the Triple H Batista nose ring thing? And I was like, you guys are thinking of me. Like,
now, we did
cute.
accidentally brush past this, not intentionally. It's not what I noted down my note. So we did have Elias come out as he was the musical entertainment for the evening. So he had this great little setup where he had himself playing drums and piano on
screen,
video, and then he was playing guitar. So this great
that
little
was really cool
trilogy.
To see that he's multi-talented artist. That was super cool to see the many talents of Elias.
But of course,
waiting for the interruption. Okay. So waiting for the interruption, I was like, okay, who's going to interrupt now? And then all of a sudden, so you think you're untouchable? Word life. And I was like, no way. And like, I was with a friend and they're like, what? And I was like, it's John Cena. But it wasn't any John Cena. It was the Doctor of Thugonomics. I'm so sorry. I am so... You don't understand how excited I am for this. I was like, oh no, it's going to be a rap battle. It's going to be one of his old school rap battles. And he comes out in his old, like, really big jersey that's open with the thick ass chains, the wet life rings.
We should mention before John Cena does come out, there is this video package of sort of Yankee history. So this history of baseball, and there was Babe Ruth, who is a like sort of a big legend of baseball. One of Babe Ruth's signature things was be able to call the shot. You know, so they showed footage of him calling the shot down left field. Clocks in. That's, you know. So that's the idea. And then I didn't quite understand that video package. I'm like, this seems very Bray Wyatt-y, but it can't be fucking Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, we said Bray Wyatt as well.
Yeah. But no, yeah, now comes Dr. Thugonomics.
Yep, John, and he's wearing his New York jersey.
Yes, he's wearing the Yankees jersey, open with the chain, with the lock. Has his hat on backwards but tilted. He's got his Word Life knuckle dusters. Yeah. He's got his jorts and the Jordan pumps.
Yeah, the Jordan pumps. And it was everything. Everything he came out and said to Elias, like, I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be exactly what it used to be, and I'm living for this. And yeah, it gets into this like really slow like speaking rap thing where he's like making fun of him, and is like, at one point he's like, oh, you know, your music must be like movies because they suck. My movies because they suck.
Yeah, so
and stuff like that.
So one of the first things he comes in, he says, you know, like, because Cena's about to turn heel. I'm like, oh, she's about to fight, and then he proceeds to just berate Elias. As you mentioned,
he's like, yeah, your music's like my movies because it sucks and shit like this, and like he's taking the piss out of himself.
And then he pulls out a bag of like cashews and is like, because like, so your face looks like my nuts except with more bush. And it
was so good. And he throws the peanuts at him and then
drops an FU.
Yeah, and then they're talking about the attitude, like the commentary guys are talking about the attitude adjustment, and he drops a line is like, oh, you know, we're not in an AA or something is like, yeah, but F you, and like,
so we're not at AA, it's not your time to speak. Yeah, something F you, and then drops the F you.
Yeah, and it was so good because then, like, obviously Elias tries to attack. John Cena just goes in for the thing. He does, like, the pump-ups and then, gets him into the F you, and I was everything. I was like, yes, it's not the attitude adjustment anymore. And I was like, yes, bring back the attitude. Like, I was just, oh my God. You don't understand. You don't understand. This is the John Cena that I fell in love with back in the day. Like, this is the John Cena when he was the bad guy and he was just, it was everything for me in that moment. That was my WrestleMania moment. That was everything to me. I was just like, this is beautiful. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was the best.
It's pretty good.
That was my moment. That's all I cared about. That's all I still care about.
The only downside to John Cena coming out and doing the Thugonomics was because I was holding out hope that either A, he'd appear at the US Championship, or 2, he would appear at the next match, which was Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin. So having him come out and do that, I was like, well, we're certainly seeing Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
So yes, in Kurt Angle's farewell match, we saw him take on Baron Corbin. It was all right.
Yeah.
So as he did enter, it was quite emotional for me personally.
Definitely.
There was no tears unlike Kofi.
The crowd erupted with the "you sucks."
Lots of "you sucks." It was brain, but like that kind of nice way. The match was pretty solid as well. Baron came out with the fucking booze, and he was brilliant. So in terms of the scuffle, they get a lot of the usual stuff.
Yeah.
So there is an attempt of an angle. There is an angle slam. There is an attempt of an ankle lock.
Yep.
Angle lock. Sorry.
So something we did go through last week, which you were like, oh no, like Baron Corbin.
That me.
Yeah. Baron Corbin does have a move called the Deep Six. And I said that last week.
Oh, my
and
bad.
You were like, no, it must have been the end of days. I was like, no, I swear they called it Deep Six. He does have a move called the Deep Six, which he does use in this match.
But he did finish it with the end of days though. So my bad for being wrong. I am wrong all the time. So
there is a move called the Deep Six, and I'm not a crazy person. So
well done.
yay. Me not being crazy.
So it did finish with an end of days on Kurt with Baron Corbin getting the win.
Heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking. It's a real shame, but
it was beautiful that Kurt grabbed a microphone and he goes, you know, I don't care how this match ended. I want to end this night my way. He goes, all I need from you guys is just to give me those "you suck" chants one more time.
It was pretty much the idea of like this. Although this match didn't turn out how I planned. There's all I would still like to thank you all, blah blah blah. But it's like I want the end of this night. As I said, end this night my way, and give me those 2 words that 2 words that made me who I am. Yeah, that made me who I am. And then it's like cue my music.
And everybody's screaming, "You suck!" He's tearing up in the ring.
And there's a guy ringside with the sign that said, "You never sucked," and he's fucking a mess.
Yep. Yeah. And there's people with like the integrity, intensity, intelligent, thank you angle, and all the signs and stuff. And I was welling up, and then he jumps out and he kisses his family and stuff, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna miss. And
there's this young woman. I'm like, and someone's like, "Oh, is that his wife?" I'm like, pretty sure that's his daughter. She's 22. Oh, he kissed her on the mouth. That's his wife.
Yeah. Yeah, I was very much like, no, I'm pretty sure that's his wifey.
That's what Josh said. Like, no, it seems like his daughter. It seems too young.
That's his wife.
Like, oh, he just tongue passionate. That's probably hopefully that's his wife.
Yeah, but no, it was very beautiful, and I'm glad that he got such an amazing send off.
Yeah, but breaking the convention and the curtain here, it was kind of what needed to happen. When it comes to someone leaving, his way to, the leaving, when a superstar does leave, they should lose. It helps put over the person that they leave behind. And for that, and like in terms of this is a moment, this will elevate Baron Corbin beyond anything he could have done. Like as a heel, he's already there at a really good place, but now he has this moment to continue to be this relentless buoy, someone that the crowd truly despises. So Kurt being an old school wrestler as well, I guarantee you he made the choice to be like, I want this done. Give it to Baron. Baron needs it.
Definitely. 100%.
So credit to Kurt Angle there. Credit to Baron Corbin. Wasn't the bestest of the matches, but it was fine.
It was still nice.
I should mention, so the crowd were fucking dead quiet for Batista. They were dead quiet for Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. They were loud for Kurt, and so there's very clear fatigue going on here.
Yeah, it would have been a very long day.
Yeah, so we did get
very
the
hot day
Intercontinental Championship with Bobby Lashley, who was the champ, versus Finn Balor, but not just any Finn Balor, the Demon Finn Balor.
I was interested. Obviously, Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush came out in black, white, and red, which I was like, oh, were they trying to make fun of Finn Balor?
Well, Bobby Lashley did have contacts in as well.
I was just about to mention that. Lashley had contacts in because, like, when he walked down, I was like, he's wearing contact lenses. I was like, oh, he's trying to take the piss.
So channeling his own demon, I suppose, or just being a dickhole.
Yeah, but I was so excited to see the Demon's entrance. I haven't seen it yet. I've only seen
Isn't it brilliant?
Yeah, 2K19. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, like the
it was so cool. I was absolutely in love with it. I was so excited for this match because I feel like there's more power behind Finn Balor as the Demon. Like,
you can tell the change, can't you?
There's definitely a change in him, and it was amazing.
Yeah, he was vicious.
He was
vicious
so
as the Demon
vicious. And it was just amazing. It was so freaking good, and I loved it. I loved it so much. It was so good. Give me more. Yeah.
See, that's the big thing about what makes the Demon brilliant is that it's used very sparingly. And when it does, it's always at that moment of necessity.
Yes.
Because Finn, as Finn stated in the past, every time he does play up the Demon, he does lose a little part of himself here. And I did certainly see that come across. Having seen the Demon in previous matches, like at SummerSlam, like at the first ever Universal match, there is a more animalistic here, with the tongue sticking out. Like these things weren't normally there. So
Leo Rush was pooping the
multiple times the demons come out, it's chipped more and more and more. And I could see that certainly here as well. Like that demon took over a lot more than normal here. And for those, there was a lot of that intensity.
Bobby Lashley did get some upper hands there. Obviously, he's a very powerhousey kind of guy. But he's a very powerhousey guy. But yeah, Finn just kept getting up on him.
And showcasing the true power of the Demon, he power bombed Bobby fucking Lashley.
Insane. So good. I was like, no way, you're way too... Oh my God, he's doing it.
Yeah. So, of course, the Demon, Finn Balor, did walk out with the Intercontinental Champion. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Then it did finish off the night with the winner takes all for the Raw Women's Championship as well as the SmackDown Women's Championship. We do see a helicopter entrance by Charlotte Flair, reminiscent to her father, Ric Flair, from a bajillion years ago.
We forgot to mention that for the win for the Batista Triple H match, Triple H throughout the entire match was trying to get his sledgehammer used.
Oh,
and it never happened.
The sledge. Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, up pops a Ric Flair, slides Triple H's sledgehammer, which he turns around and uses on Batista.
Just in the face.
So yeah, that's how he got the win. But yeah, Ric Flair did show
that's
up.
how long that match was. I forgot a fucking
entirely forgot about that, and I was thinking about that earlier too. But yeah, anyway, back to Charlotte.
Yeah, so Charlotte enters via helicopter. Very cool. Ronda walks out to Joan Jett and the Heartbreakers.
Yeah.
Sort of pumping out her bad reputation. However, very clearly on a lower key. Because I don't think Joan can sing quite as high as she could.
No.
So I'm listening to it. I'm thinking,
still really good though.
Sounds different. It sounds off.
Yeah.
And Josh, being a musician, is like, it's dropped the key.
Yeah.
Like she can't. Just simply can't go
that.
outside.
Yeah, studying sound engineering for 4 years.
Yeah.
I knew that.
I didn't know that. I was like, she sounds weird.
Yeah, no, they've dropped it. Still pretty good. She obviously comes out, she smiles a bit, and then she storms down to the ring because I'm so mad, Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, so they get the both her and Charlotte get the booze. Becky's music pops. The crowd fucking erupts. Everyone's singing. It was awesome. Becky rocking new ring attire. So previously she wears the sort of like onesie sort of unitard thing with the tights. And we got shorts and sort of a long sleeve. It's almost like negative Bruce Lee with like the black and the orange stripe. The yellow and the black. Very Kill Billy, Well, Kill Bill is very directly inspired by Bruce Lee.
Oh, yeah,
so
of course. Same.
But it's more of the opposite coloring. Rather than the yellow jumpsuit with the black stripe, it's the black suit with the yellow stripe.
Exactly. Very cool. Very big hair. I really
I'll let
like
you
it.
go this one because I fucking haven't stopped talking.
No, it's good. I absolutely loved Becky's hair. Let's just say, like,
she had this big old mane.
Teach me. Anyway, so this match started with, I'm pretty sure it was sort of Becky and Ronda were eyeing each other off. Like, Charlotte kind of didn't exist at the start. Like, she was just standing in the corner and they just eyeing each other off for a bit, and then they eventually look over to her. And
so it sort of kicked off with Becky and Charlotte standing in the corners. Ronda's bouncing around. She's ready to fucking rock and roll. And there was a bit of a standoff for a little while.
Yeah. And then, holy shit, I'm having a mental blank. Where do we?
Yeah, but so we're obviously not going to. We can't talk beat by beat.
Yeah,
here,
beat by beat.
But
so for the primary part, like it was, I was really stoked for it. I was tired. I think that's why a lot of it is eluding me. But yeah, there was a lot of really hard punches from Ronda.
Yeah, so that Ronda was delivering incredibly stiff shots on on Becky primarily. There was no sort of gang up on Becky by any stretch, but there were
a lot of stiff shots.
There was a lot of harder hits going on.
I did have a bit of a laugh because obviously they were mocking each other as well. So there was one point where Becky throws, I'm pretty sure it was Ronda into the corner. She starts stiff shotting her like Ronda does, and I think Charlotte
very bold
does the same
decision
thing.
when you're trying to throw when you're trying to match punches with a fucking a previous UFC champion.
Yeah, exactly it. There was a lot of emotional like anger stemming from Charlotte. She was getting very like Samoa Joe when things don't go his way. So there was a lot of like Charlotte was like near pins and then like somebody would kick out and she started getting real angry. There was a lot of throwing each other out of the ring as well. Obviously you want to get somebody out so you can focus on somebody else.
So there's a lot of scuffles there. There was an attempt from Ronda to double armbar.
I did see that.
So there were attempts also for the figure eight by Charlotte numerous times. Obviously these were all broken. Every time there was some sort of pin or some sort of submission attempt, someone always came in and broke it. Very cool.
There was,
Becky did eventually
a lot of double teaming with Becky and Charlotte as well. There was obviously, because they used to be best friends, there was a lot of chemistry in that respect in double teaming Ronda. Like,
it's also that interesting line of the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, exactly it. So that was
so there's
really
a lot of that. So yeah, at some point Becky did bring a table out, chuck that in the ring. She got it set up. Ronda pretty much walked over. She goes, tables are for bitches. Fucking whipped that fucking
Straight
table out.
Yeah.
She had no time for that shit.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah, that was so good. I love that table was brought in as well.
Then
it ends up in the corner.
Yeah, Charlotte eventually gets it up in the corner. Bit of old scuffle. There was a sort of a double power bomb by Ronda and Becky with Charlotte, getting her through the table. Now she didn't go through the clean middle, went down to probably the lower third, so it kind of really didn't break as it should have, and it would have fucking sucked.
Yeah.
So Charlotte then falls, collapses, gets thrown out of the ring. We get a bit of a kerfuffle here. There is, I believe it may have been I forget exactly what it was, but Ronda did have the upper hand on Becky. Becky just rolls up.
Oh yeah, so I think she's trying to get her in like. Is it a leg lock or an armbar that Ronda does?
She was trying to get into the serpent's.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, what's it called?
I'm not sure what it's called either.
It's the serpent something. She's trying to get. She's trying to get in this submission hold. Becky gets the roll up. Crucifix. It's called crucifix pin or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's your 1, 2, 3, and it's fucking done.
Done. Yeah. And
it happens so
quick.
fast. It was so fast, so fast that everyone like in the room and everyone's like, that just happened.
What happened? Even like Becky was like, what? And Ronda's like, what? And I'm really conflicted on this win.
So there is a lot. Like, so it takes a little minute. Music kicks in. Fireworks haven't dropped yet. So first thing that Josh knows is like, there's no confetti. Why is there no confetti?
Yeah.
Because then he realizes it's a big open stadium, there's no confetti.
Yeah.
So there was a delay before the fireworks kicked in. So our concerns were, it happened so fast and kind of quick. Like it didn't.
They
look,
needed to
it
review
didn't look right.
No, it did look like because obviously it was quite a close-up shot when the pin happened. I genuinely don't think both of Ronda's shoulders were down. Yeah, so
it's depending on the angle, you can see her shoulder wasn't up on the first count or it wasn't up on the third count. Depending on what angle you're looking at, it looks like it can go in a couple different ways.
Yeah.
So the referee just did not see it happen. I'm not saying this is a revival level of shiftiness.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any malicious intent
I don't
here.
think it was shifty. But obviously Ronda's like, my shoulders weren't down. Like she's flipping her lid. Becky's like, don't care, I'm the double champ. Charlotte's outside the ring
she's dead.
fuming. Obviously just sitting there like holding herself, like getting angry. I am so conflicted because I'm like, well, okay, like, but she's technically not won. Like, is this going to get reviewed this week? I haven't seen this week, so we can't go into that. But like, is this going to be reviewed?
Spoilers,
like, what's going on here? And no, apparently it's a clean win. It's been called as clean, so it's a win.
Yeah.
And so Becky's the champ, and she kept her promise. She walked out the double champ.
In terms of this match, like I was emotionally invested in it, but I knew in my heart of hearts how it was going to go down. In no way did I expect that Ronda would take her first defeat at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
this is her first defeat, and
it is
by pin, not by
pin.
Yeah, so I honestly thought that Becky would have got Charlotte in a submission or it's pin at some point.
Shocked at how quick it happened. Like that roll up happened so quick. Nobody was expecting it.
And it's such a twist on Becky. Majority of Becky wins have been by submission. Yeah. So we've never really seen her win by pinfall. So to add on top of that additional layer there as well.
Yeah,
so I guess that's why there was such that jarring result. And it was odd because within the room we were like, oh, cool. Like there wasn't that pop that I thought I was going to be like up on the table, fucking screaming in the
expecting
air.
like the disarmer and somebody to tap, and then you're like, yeah.
But even the crowd were kind of like not there. Like there wasn't that big, like massive yell that I thought there was going to be.
Yeah, look, as phenomenal as it was having, the women main event it, I feel like because it was such a long day, it really did take away from them. Obviously, there was a lot of fatigue there. I mean, me personally, I was super exhausted, but do bear in mind I had stabbed myself in the eye earlier in the day and I had a massive headache, which I am rocking right now still. That hasn't settled. But it was, like, I'm stoked for the outcome, don't get me wrong, but I'm also very conflicted because obviously of that vision of whether or not it was, like, a genuine pin. Like, I don't care either way. Like Becky's the double champ. Like,
yeah, no, it was an interesting.
and that's all we wanted
outcome.
in the end.
But now that we've reached the end, we can get a bit more gritty details what we thought overall. But yeah, no, like once overall, it was like I said, how they bookended it and sort of had the key front, middle, and end. Brilliant, excellently laid out. However, sadly, after Kofi's match, that whole section there between Kofi and Becky was a fucking hot mess.
Yeah,
it was slow. It was plotting. It was matches that no one really gave two fucks about.
And the one they did just took.
And that was a real downside because that's where a big hunk of time came out, like with Batista and Triple H getting their 20 minutes or whatever, and then that weird line with Samoa Joe getting his win in under a minute. Like the pacing was off. It was thrown. Like we had such a solid first half, and with everyone being, like myself included, emotionally spent from Kofi, it's like, okay, this is where we're at.
Yeah, exactly. It did definitely, bring that down.
So so that was a real killer. Like that was probably the real downside of it all. And just that Batista.
Oh, one thing I do remember just randomly out of the point, which I thought was really friggin' awesome, is at one point Beth Phoenix got 2 people in a figure 4 leg lock.
No, actually, I remember that.
Yeah. Was it Beth or Natalia? It was one of them, but they had like 2 people in the leg lock, and I was like, damn. Like that was fun. I remember that. I don't know, when you said the leg lock earlier, I was like, oh, I remember somebody had 2 people in it, and that was really cool. That was so cool. Yeah. NXT.
Do you have any final thoughts before we jump into that?
Okay. Look, overall, I did enjoy it for the most part. Like you said, that pacing in that second half was off. I'd probably give it a 6.5 out of 10, maybe a 7 if I'm being generous.
Look, I'd put it in the same window. I'd put it in that same sort of 7.
Like, it was great. I think, it was very long. I did find myself skipping through a lot of, like, because obviously I didn't watch it live. I did have to watch a replay. I skipped through a lot of, like, the fluffing about. Like, the minute I saw Lacey Evans, I was like, no. Yeah,
so, like, we talked about the matches here. Like, there was some fluff in between. Like, there was this weird moment where the SNL guys Alexa was took them to the infirmary. And then there was, I thought
it said, like, like, trainer's room, and underneath it said mortuary. I had a
I thought that. My brain went to Razor Ramon, but it wasn't Razor Ramon.
No, I did love at the end of that, they did have Kevin Nash and
Kevin Nash, that's who it was.
I can't remember who the other guy was, but Kevin Nash and somebody else come out dressed as doctors, and like Kevin Nash's really seedy, like, head down grin thing was just
like from the
phenomenal.
back it looked like Braun Strowman's hair. So I'm like like, hey, they're in the best hands. Hands. Fucking turn around, Braun Strowman, and bunch him again.
No, that was super cool. That Diesel? No, it was Kevin Nash and it's eluding me.
Fine.
I should look it up, but
so for that reason, like
that was fun.
There was some bunch of fluff that we just chose to skip over here because the matches are kind of what's the big point here.
And we could be here for another like 2 hours.
Yeah, we could be forever if that was the case. But yeah, like it was fine. It was adequate. Yeah. Like so I say. As we were explaining match by match, like we were talking, like a lot of the matches were pretty solid. So, but when you look at it as a sum of its parts, you see those weaknesses stand out a lot larger than you expected.
When you're breaking it down on a scale that we
like bit by bit, you're like, that was cool, that was awesome, that was fine, I dug that, that was adequate, and then you look at you zoom out, look at the whole picture, like,
yeah. And obviously being so long and exhausting too. Like,
hey Jen, apparently you liked one of our pictures on Instagram right now.
Instagram's jacked like that. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'll have somebody like something, I'll look at it, and 3 hours later I'll say, so-and-so liked your photo. I'll be like, I've already seen that.
Yeah.
But no, I think, like, because it was so emotionally, like, it was so long and there was so much emotion in it, it's easy for us to forget parts. So if we have forgotten anything, any, like, special mentions or anything, let us know. We'll bring them up in the show tomorrow.
Yeah, so saying that, like,
the post-Mania show.
Saying that the 5.5 hours of the main card, I'm fine with.
Yeah.
If they could bring it down a little bit, like make it a clean 5, would probably be all right.
Yeah.
Plus the kickoff though, that's like 7 hours. That's where it gets draining.
Yeah.
But most people don't watch the kickoff show anyway. So as just the main event, 5 hours is fine.
Exactly. That's not
like
too
it's
bad.
not. It's
well, they're Raw's 3, so
yeah. Like most pay-per-views are less than 5. Yeah. Mania did go longer.
Yeah. Which again, big
main
day,
events here. So main cards, not
main cards.
kickoffs.
Yeah. So main card. awesome. Like obviously we did watch the kickoff. I did enjoy a little bit of that. I just wanted to see the battle royales. The Royales. But yeah, I'm so stoked. Obviously, like I said, I haven't watched just yet. I will be watching. This comes out tomorrow, so I will be watching today. For you guys listening right now. Yeah, I'm so excited. I think my favorite part of WrestleMania is the post-Mania shows. So the post-Mania Raw, the post-Mania SmackDown. I just love seeing the shake-up of it all. So I am so excited to see what's going to happen this week.
Oh, we also failed to mention at some point, R-Truth and Kamala did come out and do
the 7-second dance break.
So that was, I think that was like 4 hours in. So I do have a feeling that was like...
And it went for a lot longer than 7 seconds.
We are legally obligated to tell you to get out of your chair.
Yeah.
So like, you know, by them saying, "Hey, you should probably stand up right now." Like, it's them. Yeah, it seems super weird and jarring, but like,
everybody get up for a 7 second, and it went for a lot longer than 7 seconds.
So let us know what you thought of this year's WrestleMania. Let us know in the comments below. Facebook group, Discord channel, all the social medias are in the description below. We did reach out to a couple of the community members. Now I posted this just before we came in the room, so it's not a whole bunch of responses. We've got AJ. Abo Tommy on the Facebooks. He said overall it was better than I had expected. 7 title changes is quite weird, and WWE gave us all the wins we wanted, and that's totally true. I personally my inner cynicism, I'm inner cynicist, what sort of word, cynic, was like, someone has to win one of those three, but someone has to lose. So that's why I put Brock to win, because I thought there's no way that all three are going to get that win. It's not a chance. It's not possible.
Yeah,
but then they did. They gave us all the wins. Like I thought it was near impossible that all the faces would win.
Yeah,
but they did.
Yeah, really good.
Lee Wintershoven, long-time fan of the show, has jumped in. He said, thought overall was pretty good. The pacing of it seemed spot on. It didn't seem to drag on at all. I'll argue that for you.
Yeah.
Which could have been a problem for a show that was over 5 hours, 7 if you include pre-show. Could have done without Lacey Evans and the dance break. I'd give it a solid 1.5 Kurt Angles. So in terms of our ratings, we're giving about a 7 out of 10. We gave it about 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5 Kurt Angles as well. Yep, definitely.
Yeah, totally true. So yeah, we'll quickly run through the NXT takeover because we did talk about that last week. It was fucking brilliant. Yeah. That's a takeover. Solid 2 Kurt Angles. Like,
I'm excited.
Unquestionably.
Another one I'll watch tomorrow.
So it did kick off with the War Raiders versus Ricochet and Aleister Black. Do you care about the results?
I am all for spoilers.
Cool. War Raiders retain in a fucking brilliant match. Ooh. Oh, dude.
Well, we do. Obviously, it has been announced that Ricochet and Aleister Black are leaving. NXT.
Yeah, so it's not. There's been no official confirmation of them coming up.
Yeah,
it's just been heavy speculated. They've been there so long.
Yeah.
Even on today's Raw and SmackDown, they were still coming up as NXT and whatever. When Superstar shake up having in 2 weeks, next week.
Oh yeah.
But this was treated as their final match. There was crowd. It was brilliant. It was very, very emotional, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I'm excited to see.
Sorry, I really should put water in here. Next up was the NXT North American Championship between Velveteen Dream and Matt Riddle. Oh, fuck. That may have...
Okay, so I do know a little bit about this, and I was gunning for Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle took his first loss.
Oh, no!
Velveteen Dream retains. But to Riddle's benefit, at the end, Pin got up, bro fist. And that was how the match ended. I was like, fuck yeah.
That's really good. That's
great. Dude, that match was on point. Like, I can't complain about that match at all. So
for somebody who's like a crazy stoner who wrestles in bare feet, like, I really love Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle is dope.
He is so cool. He's just so chill. I love that guy heaps.
He is just...
that breaks my heart, though, because he was undefeated, wasn't he?
Absolutely brilliant. Next up was the NXT Women's Champ. Actually, no, it wasn't. Next up was the WWE UK Championship with Pete Dunne versus Walter. Pete Dunne being the champion at the time. He did lose to Walter after his 685 day title reign.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he's had it for a very long
time.
time.
Fair effort. That's really good.
This was a very interesting match. So Walter being a big dude, it was sort of brute versus technician.
Yes.
It was very, very cool. Walter has the fucking gnarliest chops I have ever heard.
Yeah.
Now this match started very slow. I was like, this is where I went, oh, this is gonna be trash. Like, I don't know who. I had no investment in these characters. Like, I know who Pete Dunne is. I know who he is as the bruiserweight. I understand what his gimmick was. The digit focus, sort of manipulating fingers. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's see what this does. And then there is literally a moment where it turns, and then I give it all the fucks, and I cared all about it. And I was like, it was great. And when they got. There's off the rope stuff from Walter, who's a huge dude.
Oh,
and
interesting.
Solid match. Is it gonna make me watch UK NXT? No chance. But still cool.
Yeah.
Still very, very cool.
Interesting.
Then we did get the women's NXT Women's Championship, which was a fatal four-way. Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane versus Io Shirai versus Bianca Belair.
That's it.
Can't fucking stand Bianca Belair still. Shayna Baszler did retain.
Yeah, I was expecting that.
It was very cool though. So Kairi Sane and Io Shirai did sort of team up on the pair.
Well, they are the Sky Pirates.
That's true. They are but there were moments where Io had a pin and Kairi interrupted and broke that pin.
Of course.
So there was.
They acknowledge that it's a competition.
There's the beginnings of this competition stuff, but there was very cool shit in this match.
Yeah.
Very, very a lot of airborne stuff. I just want to see Kairi Sane versus Io Shirai. I don't give a everyone else can fuck off. That's what I want to see.
Where Bianca Belair blew one of them a kiss.
She blew Kairi a kiss. Kairi caught it, scrumped it up, threw it at Io. Io hit it out like baseball, and they both went.
I love it. That was so beautifully executed. That was great.
And then the final match tonight was the NXT Championship, which is Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole. 2 out of 3 falls. Johnny Gargano is the first ever 3-time NXT champion. It was awesome.
Was it as you predicted in that he got the first 2 falls?
No. So he did get the first. I think Adam Cole got the second. And they were relatively straightforward, those first 2 pins. Being a long match, this was fucking dope.
Yeah.
There was so much going on. It just showed, it's very funny. So Gargano comes out in a very Iron Man inspired entrance gear, and he was the fucking Iron Man in this match.
I love
He just took a beating and continued to come out and go and come out through the victory. On top of that, there was a great moment of interference. The ref was distracted, and the remaining of the Undisputed Era came out and one by one attacked Gargano, but main event has tricked me to think, oh fuck, now okay, cool, there's the game, there's the match. Nah, Gargano pushes through all 3 of the 3 remaining members of the Undisputed Era, still comes out, gets the win. It was fucking brilliant. So as he gets that win and grabs that belt, Candice LeRae comes scooting off the side, big old hugs.
Beautiful.
It's awesome. He comes around to the crowd, goes with his family, all this awesome stuff. As he gets up to top of the ramp, he puts that belt in the air. Out comes Ciampa. They have a hug. I'm like, and it was absolutely brilliant. NXT Takeover New York was so fucking good.
I'm definitely gonna watch it.
What made me laugh really hard? So I listened to Dash Culture Wrestling, which is our good Dirt Sheet Dash.
Hi, Dash.
And our other friend Buddy Watson. They do their show. But Dash is just a negative Nancy the whole way through. He's the heel of fucking wrestling podcasts.
I know.
So, but saying that, he couldn't praise Takeover enough. They both referred to Mania as the kickoff show to Takeover.
I love it.
Because Takeover is always fucking amazing. I've watched 4 of them now, as live ones, or 3 of them as live ones.
I think I've watched 1.
And they I can't argue they are brilliant.
Love it. Yeah.
They are genuinely brilliant.
Absolutely good.
But yes, let us know what you thought.
Just quickly, speaking of costumes, I did notice in the Women's Battle Royale, Lana was dressed as Wonder Woman.
Yes, awesome. She's dressed as Wolverine on the SmackDown. Her outfits are on point.
Yeah, she is really good with her outfits. Congrats to you, Lana. That's awesome.
But let us know what you thought of NXT TakeOver as well. So in terms of the Mania, I think I predicted 9 out of 13, excluding the Royals. So I was pretty happy with that. I was,
pretty good.
So not too angry about that. Please go watch Takeover. If you watch Takeover, let us know. Comments below, social medias. Everything is in the description below. But that does
Send
bring us...
me all of the links.
That brings us to the end of our WrestleMania reactions and impressions. Next, so tomorrow, for you guys at home, you will get our discussion, as always, on Friday of Raw and SmackDown. The post-Raw, post-SmackDown are always the biggest and the best.
Always the best.
Allegedly,
I'm
this is the
so
first one that I've really dealt with myself.
I am so hyped.
I've gone by conjecture there.
Oh, it shakes up so hard, and I can't wait to put a minty in this bottle and shake it. It's gonna be so good.
We'll also be talking about our predictions for the Superstar Shake-Up, which will happen next week.
Yes.
So keep it. So if you have any predictions, be sure to let us know if you want to hear what you guys think and how you think who's going to go where and why.
Tell us.
But this was The Young and the Restless, the Pop Culture WWE podcast, coming at you every Friday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on the YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, head over to the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/The Pop Cultures, or the Discord channel, or you can email us, and there is an online fillable form as well. All those links are in the description below. Be sure to come and have a chat. If you do want to show the support for the Pop Cultures and The Young and the Restless on your body, head to thepopcultures.com/shop, where you can buy quite a number of new wrestling inspired shirts, and they are currently on sale because they are brand new and cool. Woo! We are also on twitch.tv/thepopculturists, and I can't even say until next week because we'll see you tomorrow. Until tomorrow, I'm Ryan Betson,
and I still want to be Bret Hart, Jem.
We'll see you in 24 hours.
Bye.